Beltane. Beltane is a pagan holiday celebrated on the eve of April 30th and May 1st. It marks the beginning of summer. It's a traditional Celtic holiday where people would gather to light bonfires, dance, and engage in rituals to welcome the season of growth and fertility. It's a time to honor nature, and many believe the veil between the human world and the spiritual realm is thin. It is filled with music, dancing, and feasting. Some of the festivities include lighting a Beltane fire. It's a bonfire that symbolizes purification and protection. People would jump over the flames or drive their livestock through them for good luck and fertility. They would also dance around a maypole, which is a tall pole that is erected and decorated with colorful ribbon. People dance around the pole, weaving the ribbons together, symbolizing the union of masculine and feminine energy. They would also make flower crowns, especially those in bloom during Beltane. Wearing these floral adornments is believed to bring blessings and fertility. Small baskets filled with flowers, sweets, and small gifts are made and hung on the door handles as a gesture of goodwill and friendship. It represents fertility, sensuality, and delight. It is the rite of the sacred marriage. And I won't be doing any of that this Beltane. Instead, I feel like I've already had my Beltane celebration on my birthday when my sponsor gave me a 60th birthday party in April, which I'll tell you was very overwhelming and probably one of the greatest memories that I'll have in my life. When she asked me if I wanted to have a birthday party, the first thought that came in my head was the screaming no. And I opened my mouth and said, yes, that would be lovely. And I regretted it immediately, all the way up until the day of the party. And it was definitely something that I needed, both emotionally and physically. She made this puzzle, and what she did is she painted on one side of it, and then on the other she asked the guests to sign it or draw a picture, and so that when I put it together I would see however it would turn out put together. And as I'm sure you can probably already figure out who the men were that drew a picture on here, it was either penises or boobs. Why is that? Everybody in recovery is... I remember one time being at a meeting and one of the guys was inside, and it had snowed during the meeting, and the guys went out and drew penises in the snow all over one of the fellows' cars. And that was a fun moment. That was hilarious. And yes, there is one piece missing, and we may have found it, we may not have. It could have been stolen, it may not have been stolen. I haven't checked yet, but we couldn't find the one piece to the puzzle, and I thought it was epic. But then my sponsor's partner found a piece on the floor, and we're not sure if it's the piece that goes to that, and I haven't put it together since I've gotten it home. So either way, it was pretty epic when we thought we didn't have a piece to the puzzle, which happened to be the very centerpiece. And I somehow feel like somebody at that party stole that fucking piece. And like I said, I was really overwhelmed that day, and I planned on taking pictures of everybody because so many people RSVP'd that they were coming, and I didn't think that a lot of them would, and they did, and I was blown away. And so I was going to take footage and share it with everybody. And from the moment I got there, I was so overwhelmed not one photo was taken from anybody. Like, there was, well, at least 30 people there. And once I sat down, I did not get up for 6, 7 hours and just sat there, and people just coming to me and talking to me. And there were people from my past, and there were people from my present. And it was so astounding because I had really struggled this year with people that are newer relationships that are either I have walked away from or they have walked away from me. And I really struggled with, what am I doing wrong? My sponsor and I have done a lot of talking about that the last couple of months. And ironically, my birthday party gave me insight to that. And although I don't have any pictures, I do have pictures of the gifts that were given to me. Some were very unique, and all of them were completely unexpected. And I'm so grateful, just so grateful for all the gifts that I have. And it's the only way that I can represent them is to show you some of the gifts, because I don't have any photos of them. My sponsor, she made this sign for me, and she decorated her house all in bohemian style for me. And I don't even have pictures of those, except these couple that she sent to me to show me and ask me if I was okay with it. And we're not even going to talk about what that mushroom on the dining room table looks like. I've already been told. Y'all have a dirty mind. Forget about it. I still love it. In fact, I only have a picture of this because Laura sent it to me, and she's like, oh my God, Scott, her partner, thinks this looks like, and we all know what it looks like. And I'm like, I already know. They already told me at the party. People already mentioned it. I already know. My friends are such dogs. The one thing that my friends did not put a sexual innuendo into were this tree. And this tree was Laura's, and she came up with the idea of me painting a symbol or a sigil on a disc of wood and giving them away as gifts. She had a scavenger hunt at the party, and what I wound up doing is I painted a bunch of magical symbols and some magical sigils on the discs on one side. And then after I had done that, I decided to put a message on the opposite side so that when someone was drawn to a symbol, there would be a message for them on the other side. And those she gave away as gifts for the scavenger hunt and as a thank you from me for coming to the party. And that went over really, really well. Then Laura took some paper and aged it and asked me if I had any advice to give the people that took one of these discs. And my favorite advice I gave to her, and she wrote it on these antiqued paper and attached them to all of the discs. And here are just a couple of gifts that were given to me for my birthday. The Enchanted Tarot, which I used to have years ago. My son got me that for my birthday. It's the 30th anniversary edition. And then my girlfriend got me a baby dragon. And the plant inside is a money plant, I think she said. So I named him Cash. I have a plant named Robert from the same girl that I haven't killed yet, so that's a plus. But I'm not promising anything. And then I have Lucille. that was given to me just a couple weeks before my birthday. And then that was a gift from my soul daughter. And then that is Ethel. So apparently now the gods think that I am a plant whisperer. And then two friends of mine that are sisters gave me this beautiful tree of life that has a boho finish to it that I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet because it's just so perfect. And I thank them. Thank you, Sam and Amanda. I know you watch my videos. And I cannot leave out the fact that they gave me a week's worth of Mexican food that was authentic and delicious, and I was very selfish with it. There was Mexican rice and tacos and everything that you could put on those tacos, and I'd never seen so much food in all my life. And I thank you, ladies, from the bottom of my heart. I loved your gifts. There are more gifts that I will share during my spell section and my altar setup. But I have an all-time favorite gift that I think everybody will understand why I chose this as my all-time favorite. And even though I loved every single gift, I have to say that because this was a human one, it is definitely ranks up there as the top gift. And my favorite gift was my best friend, Brian. Brian flew out for the day to be with me at my birthday from Colorado. And I don't think he really even knows just how much that meant to me. So I bet you're wondering, Christine, what does this Beltane video have to do with Beltane when it's all about your birthday? Well, when I started off this video, I said that people had come into my life in the last couple of years and they're all gone. Either I chose to walk away or they chose to walk away. And I really struggled before my party on the choices I was making in people that I was picking to be in my life. And that birthday party changed everything for me and my thinking on it. And so after that party and being with my friends, I decided that it was time to take some action. And on the full moon, I released all ties to anyone that I have walked away from or who has walked away from me. And now I'm going to start Beltane the best way I know how, with no attachments to the past. I came to realize that it isn't about the ones who go, it's about the ones that want to stay. So now it was time to prepare for Beltane the proper way. So let's get this party started. First, we had to clear off the Ostara altar and prepare for Beltane. Beltane is one of my favorite Sabbats, and so is Midsummer, and a lot of that has to do with the fairy realm and how much I am connected to the fairy world. And so I wanted to dedicate the altar to the fairies, and that was my theme this year. So I also pulled out my wand that was made for me by a special friend in Europe, and I like to think of him as the poet laureate. And so I pulled that out to represent the air element and the fairies. Now I know there's a lot of back and forth about is the wand an air or a fire element, and I have always considered it a air element, and that's what I choose to pick it as. It's been an argument for forever. So that's what I always think of when I think of the air. And so I pulled out the wand to represent them. I had a hard time deciding what else I wanted to add. And then I watched Alwyn Oak, and she talked about King Arthur. And that was actually the first myth and the first gods that I'd worked with. So I knew immediately it had to work together. And I pulled out King Arthur and Guinevere and the Justice card. And I did not pull out the Lovers, which usually is pulled out for Beltane, because I did not want any kind of confusion or misunderstandings with the gods. So then I pulled out the crown for King Arthur, and I pulled out my dragon dome that I use for release or to remove anything using fire. And that is actually the spell that I will be doing for Beltane that I will share with you next. And it all just fit. It's like it just was so magical the way this started. 2 weeks ago, I was so wrapped up with the party that I never had time to really think about what I wanted to do for my Beltane altar, except I knew that I wanted them to have the fairies involved in it. And then it just evolved into this, and I can't think of a better way for my altar to be for Beltane. So I finished the altar just in time for Beltane, and that is actually why my video is coming out so late this Sabbath, because I have just been really busy this April. Beltane is a really magical time of year, and it's also like a really magical year. So I am going to release this footage, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to release the spells that I am going to perform for Beltane, because I want to do them on the actual day as I show you. And I am also going to share a little bit more about what I'll be doing the rest of Beltane. And I hope that everybody has a blessed and magical Sabbath.